I'm Ollie Rodriguez, welcome to the channel. In this video, we are reviewing Venom. Just a quick warning, there are spoilers in this video, so I recommend you press this button, you select one of the other videos, check them all out, see what you think. If you enjoy me and the videos I make, subscribe so then when you want to come back after seeing Venom and see someone else's thoughts on it, you know where I am, you've already pressed subscribe, and you can just come back, check the channel out and see what my review was. So, hope to see you back then. Go and click one of those videos right now. But for now, let's actually get into the topic of Venom. I think my overall opinion on this film is it's better than we could have got, but it's also worse than we could have got. Let's start with the beginning of this film. First 20 minutes were utter bollocks. I did not care for that bit of the story. I generally didn't need it, and if they took that away from the film, I would not be missing out. Now, when I go to the cinema, I never want to ruin my experience of seeing a film, and what that basically means is I don't want to get up and go to the toilet. I will generally, no matter how desperate I am, I will wait in the cinema and I will watch the film to the very end. Now for Venom, I came very close to just getting off my chair and going to the bathroom and doing my business. And by those first 20 minutes passing, I just knew that the film was about to show Venom, the whole reason I wanted to watch the film. And you can just tell by the way they time it, the way the beats are for it, in terms of like what happens, and you can see the setup coming and you know when it's about to happen, and it was very obvious to me, so I was just like, I'll just stay in my seat and I'll wait for the rest of the film. I'm relating this back to the cinematic experience and not wanting to ruin it. One of the things that makes an experience for a film or a story is not knowing what's going to happen and things being logical and making sense. And Venom just didn't make sense in some points. And there were just some really obvious like plot points and plot devices that you were just like, that doesn't really make sense. For example, Eddie Brock's boss. He literally asked the guy who goes and gets in people's faces and gives them the hard questions, the tough questions that they can't and shouldn't answer. He gets him because he's apparently the only journalist in the whole building that can do it and is available to go and ask someone who is doing some shady shit and expects Eddie Brock, the guy he knows who has built a career off getting in people's faces, to behave himself. And he goes and gets Eddie Brock, who is apparently the only guy available at the time, to go and behave himself and talk to this other person. Well, Eddie Brock actually is the only journalist in the building who has a huge name, who would probably be the most busy person out of any of them, probably more than the boss himself. That just doesn't make sense. Okay, that was a bad voice crack. And that's just one of the examples. I'm sure if you went back and watched the film, you will notice a few of them. At some point during those 20 minutes as well, we're introduced to Eddie Brock's wife, who I have a huge problem with. During the entirety of the film, I could not buy into their relationship. It didn't feel natural, there was no chemistry between them, it felt quite flat at times, and I don't really want to put that on the actors themselves. Like, they do have part of the blame to take, Tom Hardy and whatever this actress's name is. I don't want to put it on them because I don't think it's all their fault, but at the same time, it's just like, maybe they could have got a different actress to play this character because she honestly didn't do the best job with it. And it might just be that some actors and actresses don't really flare as well, don't have as much chemistry together, but this was definitely not a pairing I'd ever like to see again. So I'm kind of glad they broke up in the film. And talking about other characters, fucking hell, this film. Now, with films and just storytelling in general, I get why you don't always have the main protagonist in. You need to show background, you need to build suspense and tension, so as an audience member, you know what's going on around the character, but they don't. That's just what builds into drama a bit more and makes the story more invested. But with this fucking film, I did not care for any of the background scenes. When there was a scene without Eddie Brock or Venom, I just got bored and wanted to fall asleep. And I don't want to put that on any of the other actors again, but at the same time, it was just, the dialogue in some of these scenes were just so shit, and just, that's not how someone would say this, that's not how someone would react to this situation, and it was just like, oh my god. But the one good thing I'd say is the homeless woman who actually talks to Eddie Brock has more chemistry than Eddie Brock does with his own fiancée. What? And that's another plot point that's stupid. Out of anyone to volunteer, they get homeless people, and out the one homeless person they find, not the one, but like one of the homeless people they find the one he's friends with. Now, I did say I was going to go through the whole story from beginning to end, but the problem is, there's not much story. And that's why I'm not talking about it, because it's boring. I'm interested more in the character of Venom. Now, Eddie Brock, I thought was great. I think it's fine. I like him. I enjoy his personality. I like it. And I think Tom Hardy playing as him was a lot of fun. And to be honest, I could see Tom Hardy on a Marvel set, just having fun with Tom Holland, Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans. I can see him fitting so perfectly in with a Marvel set. Just a set, not even a film, but the film as well. And I thought Eddie Brock as a character was well done. Now, let's actually talk about the character of Venom. And in this film, I was struck by how they treated Venom. At first, I was fine with it, and I actually enjoyed what they did as him wanting to take over the world. And with that version of the character, it actually led to quite a good moment of the film. That being where he tells Eddie Brock to jump out the building and then calls him a pussy after. I thought that was a really good scene and a great highlight of the film. And with one line, they kind of fucked him up. And I'm going to be paraphrasing now, but it goes along the lines of something like, I'm a loser like you, Eddie, on my home planet, and I don't really fit in. Something like that, and that just one bit was just like, no, you've literally just ruined Venom in one line. And that instantly just took away the threat of Venom and how powerful and intimidating he is, and you're just like, you don't look at him the same after that. You're just like, what are you doing, lads? Come on, you didn't just ruin a character like that. Like, it's fine. I'm happy to have him just sort of change his heart. He's had a bit of a connection with Eddie Brock, and he now feels sympathy, and he's learning new emotions, and he's actually understanding the world a bit better, and he's sort of getting a new perspective. But then just having him say that just makes him look like an utter fucking dick. Because you've literally ripped the intimidation off him. It's just like, oh, he's a goofy character now. Hey, goofy character. Fuck off. That is not Venom. They completely fucked up the character with one line. And I'm going to say this, not knowing a lot about Venom, not being the biggest fan of Venom, not really caring too much about Venom as a character, whilst wearing a fucking t-shirt about it. But I know how intimidating in the comics he's supposed to be, and how good he actually is, and not how fucking goofy he is. Because he is not a goofy character. He's not a character you can just fuck around with. You can give him some lines like, you're a pussy, Eddie Brock. That was a good line. I liked that. And you can make Venom funny. You did it in the film. Whilst he was still intimidating. You had Eddie Brock, who should be the representation of the audience, who is supposed to be scared of Venom, who's supposed to be frightened of him, who's supposed to be unsure of him. And having the contrast of Venom being so direct and so much of a bully kind of made him funny, but in a still threatening way. You were able to do it. And you fucked it up at the very end of the film. Now let's talk about the ending of this film. They blow up the rocket, but at the same time I was really confused with if they actually killed Venom. I knew they didn't, but you had him say, oh, goodbye Eddie Brock, and then he comes back literally 5 seconds later. There wasn't even like a build up to it in like the post credits or anything. It was just like, yeah, we're back now. And I did enjoy after that where they're going through the town and they're actually talking about things, and Eddie Brock's kind of getting a bit more control over Venom. I did kind of like the element there, and they kind of fixed Venom a little bit, but I still feel like the line before just completely ruined him. And to be honest with you, I would watch this film if all the scenes that didn't have Eddie Brock or Venom in it when they're together, if that was all just cut up and just left out, I would happily just watch a film with Venom and Eddie Brock. Now let's go to the post-credits scene with Colin Cassady. I think that's who it is, the guy who's going to be Carnage. Please don't do Woody Harrelson. Please, I do not want to see him as Colin Cassady. Out of all the actors to play a fucking psychopath, you pick him. And sure, maybe he'll be better, I haven't given him a chance, but at the same fucking time, really? Out of anyone, it's him. Because I could not buy into him being a psychopath killer. I did not look at him and go, ooh, that's Colin Cassady. And sorry if I'm getting his name wrong as well, but instead of looking at that and being that's Colin Cassady and Carnage, I looked at him and went, that's Woody Harrelson. And no offense to Woody, he's a good actor, but he's not exactly someone who I feel can come across psychopathic. He's more of a comedy act. When I see him, I think comedy. I don't think threatening or villainous. I just think comedy. That's all I see when I see him. So don't cast him. Please do an Edward Norton and recast him as someone who's actually going to be more Heath Ledger. I don't know. You can't get him. He's dead. But there's got to be someone on that level who can just bring Colin Cassady and Carnage to life. Because he is not going to be the one to do it. Anyway, I hope that review somewhat made sense. It was my first ever proper movie review. I'm wanting to do a few more of these. I've just seen A Star Is Born and I kind of want to talk about that. Probably won't be as long as this video when I do make it, but that's been my review of Venom. I hope you enjoyed. Overall, I'll just say, if you want to see Venom, go and see it if you're interested and you're more of a comic book connoisseur. I don't know, just see it if you're into comics. If you're just someone who's casually going to watch this film, don't waste your time. In all honesty, just wait till something better comes out. Go and see A Star Is Born. Go and see a film that's better, like The Black Klansman. Go and see something better. Just that's all I'll say. You could put your money elsewhere that you would probably get more enjoyment out of. That's how I'll put it. But I wouldn't say it's overall terrible, but it's pretty close. The only thing that saves it is Tom Hardy. So I've been Ollie Rodriguez. That's been my first ever movie review. If you want to see more of these, make sure to leave a like and comment and let me know. Let me know your thoughts on Venom as well, if you've seen it or if you haven't, and if this review has put you off. Anyway, yeah, I'll see you all later, people.